Salutes. Today's another episode of Walk With Me. Walk with your boy down this road. We're going to try to get some understanding on these things. If you're just now tuning in, it's your first time to this channel, just to let you know, I talk about all kind of stuff. Politics, celebrities, current events, wars, religion, medicine, law enforcement. I talk about everything on this channel. There's nothing that we're not capable of discussing here. And then I like to do these little episodes where, when I'm getting my cardio in, my little daily walks, sometimes I can make a video and discuss some of this stuff. Now, it's not open panel and none of that, but at the same time, it's, I think it's informative because we need some insight on things. If you guys haven't noticed, we're going through a phase right now in society where people are, getting their cards pulled. They're getting their information put out there. Motherfuckers are getting busted out because they doing stuff in the dark and not expecting it to come to light. Same thing with these preachers, these politicians, and these freaking police. They all getting identified for the scumbags that they are. And the reason why that's happening is because we have more eyes and ears on the scene versus than we used to have. I think people right now are taking these cameras and pointing them at the people that are in charge. That's why we're getting a lot of this information out here right now. But it's cool. Salutes if you're coming in. Hit that like button for me, man. It's free. It's free. Hit it. Yeah, but, I talk to a lot of people every day, and different things pop up. And I can see how people are in conflict with their thoughts. Because I used to be like that too. It usually happens when you're a young person, when you have a lot of conflicting thoughts. But as an adult, we should be able to organize this stuff, put it in perspective so we can see it the way it is, and be able to socialize and move around one another without getting caught up. So I've been recognizing that people haven't seen the correlation on what's going on right now with things that are happening that have been written about in the past. For instance, we're going through a whole new civil rights movement right now. But instead of the black folks of America, it's the immigrants coming to America that's doing this stuff. But see, what I don't understand is who is orchestrating this? And I know we can always blame the upper leadership, but these people ain't capable of organizing shit. They can't organize nothing. The military and the DOD is ran by lower level people. The DOD is operated and ran by people just like you and me. Influenced by the top. But that's not control, that's influence. And you know how you influence people in this day and age. Money. So they're trying to switch the whole money thing around. So that's another thing that's going to be, tossed out the window here pretty soon. They're talking about going to the digital currency. And everybody's going to have a digital, number that's going to follow them everywhere they go. So if you do something you ain't supposed to do, they're going to go ahead and strike you, lower your public credit score or some shit like that. But this is the beginning of another civil rights movement. These people that came over here, after it's all said and done, they're going to have to be assimilated in some kind of way. Right now, they're just sitting in these shelters and going from city to city trying to find a place for themselves. Some are falling back and disappearing in society because they know that when the gavel falls, there's going to be hell to pay. Because if you don't have a claim, you don't have no say in what's going to happen to you. So guard your identity nowadays, people. You know what I'm saying? Check your social security number. If you haven't already and you of age, 18 years old, get in contact with the Social Security Department, either via email or by phone, and make sure your Social Security number ain't being utilized outside of your realm, outside of your circle, because it's going to be a push for identities here pretty soon. Because when they get ready to get rid of these people, they say there's 4 million immigrants that came to the United States. When they get ready to start bagging and tagging these people like animals and shipping them off to God knows where, you want to make sure that you're not going to be one of those people that's going to be considered, a captive. Because once they drop the gavel on this immigration policy, Trump's already been bragging about it. He's already said that it's going to be the biggest immigration and in a deportation in American history. The last biggest deportation and immigration in American history was during the war with the Japanese. And you saw what they did with the Japanese people over here in America. And we think it was the government that did it. It was the government, but it was local governments that did this shit. California was big on that shit. There was no other state. Well, there was a few other states, but it wasn't the entire United States that housed all the Japanese people in these internment camps. But what we didn't see is that these people were all gathered in one place. At that time, there were millions of Japanese people here. And they didn't tell us that these people were being deported back to Japan during the war after the bombing and stuff. Because they didn't deport them. But there was a large loss of life, the Japanese people when they were in these internment camps. And some of it was done by themselves. Some of them were killing each other and shit like that. But a lot of them were just coming up missing. And they just chalked that up to these people that want to be in the internment camps, and they just freaking fled. But at the end of the day, they still disappeared. And this is the shit that we need to recognize, because they're going to be doing the same thing. They've already got these areas lined up for these immigrants, and they're just waiting for it to be filled, and then waiting for it to get out of control. And that's how they're going to get lost in translation. These people are going to disappear because ain't nowhere for them to go. Can't deport them if they seeking asylum here in the United States. You can't just deport them back to where they came from. They don't have no country of origin. They running from their country because of some type of oppression. So the country ain't gonna have open arms to receive them. And in order for a deportation to exist, it has to be an agreement with the person that's deporting them and the nation of origin. And we don't have that with none of these places. That's why when we send these people back to Mexico, guess what they do? They come back here. The Mexico government don't want these people. And most of the Spanish-speaking people ain't from Mexico. They from the lower southern areas and even the Spanish countries that's up over in Europe. Most of these people are not from this region. And, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but what I am saying is we need to take note of that. Because we don't want our kids to get caught up in the commotion, because a lot of these people look like us. We don't want our family members to get caught up in the commotion. So we need to make sure that our papers are in order, man. Practice your Fourth Amendment right. Check up on your shit, because I'm telling you, man, when it starts happening, it's going to be like a flood. It's going to be like a wide sweeping net. in the ocean just scooping up all the fish. All right, I'm gonna have to do this live again in a little bit because I got a little emergency thing going on. Appreciate videos, and I appreciate y'all. Later.